Ah, Monday, the day that creeps in like a shadow under the door. People laugh it off, call it routine, just another start of the week. But deep down, they know something about it feels heavier, darker, sharper than the rest. It's not the day itself that terrifies, it's what it represents. Return to cages, return to masks, return to the grind that grinds you down. Monday doesn't ask you if you're ready. It devours you whole, whether you're prepared or not. And that's why most people stumble into it blind, tired, unarmed, and it eats them alive. It's funny, isn't it? How fear always arrives before the thing itself does. Monday isn't even here yet, but it already owns you. You feel it creeping in on Sunday evening, don't you? That heavy breath pressing down on your chest, the clock ticking louder, faster, like it's mocking you, reminding you that your freedom is slipping through your fingers. And there you are, pacing in your mind, building a prison out of a day that hasn't even started. The horror doesn't come on Monday morning. It's born the night before, in your head, in your imagination. You give life to the monster before it even opens its eyes. You see, people like to believe that dread is natural, that everybody hates Mondays, that it's just how life is. But it isn't the day, it's the anticipation, the way you rehearse misery before it even shows up. You spend hours creating scenes in your head, the alarm ripping you out of bed, the traffic choking you, the faces at work draining you, the deadlines hanging over your shoulders like executioners. You paint the picture so vividly that by the time Monday finally knocks on your door, you've already bled out half your strength fighting battles that never even happened yet. It's madness, really, how much power you hand over to a ghost. A day is just a day, but when you fill it with fear before it comes, you give it claws, teeth, and a taste for your spirit. That's the real trick here. You are the one feeding the beast. Every sigh, every complaint, every, oh, tomorrow is Monday, you mutter under your breath is fuel. You summon the horror. You water it, you nurture it, and then you pretend it's something that ambushed you. No, it didn't ambush you. You invited it in, you set the table for it. And let's be honest, some people love this ritual. They cling to the misery because it gives them something to talk about, something to bond over. They sit in circles and whine about Monday like it's some great villain out there, when the truth is, it's just a mirror showing them how much they hate the lives they've built. It's easier to blame a day than to admit you're suffocating in the routine you chose. That's why the fear starts early. It's not about Monday. It's about the story you tell yourself when the weekend fades. The silence of Sunday night makes you face the truth you've been running from, and you don't like what you see. And in that silence, in that ticking clock, fear starts chewing at you, not because Monday is monstrous, but because you are fragile, because you haven't built yourself strong enough to face what waits for you when the weekend is over. You try to drown it out with distractions, music too loud, endless scrolling, anything to avoid the thought. But the thought always catches up, doesn't it? The dread grows fatter in the dark, feeding on your denial. By the time you close your eyes, Monday is already in bed with you, whispering in your ear, stealing your sleep, owning your night before it even touches your morning. That's the cruel part. You lose the fight before it even begins. Fear of Monday begins before it arrives, and that's the real joke. The day hasn't done a thing to you yet, but you've already surrendered, already curled up, already decided you're a victim. You let tomorrow destroy today, and then you act surprised when the horror finally shows up wearing the face you painted for it. The funny thing about horror is it doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't need thunder, blood, or screams to shake you. Sometimes, the scariest thing is the silence. That quiet moment when everything feels too calm, too still, like the world is holding its breath, waiting for something to crack. That's how it starts. The horror of Monday isn't in the chaos of the morning. It's in the invisible weight that builds while you're still pretending to enjoy your weekend. It's in the way your stomach knots when you glance at the clock, realizing the hours are slipping faster than you want to admit. That weight gets heavier, and you pretend not to notice, but you do. You feel it gnawing inside you. You see horror love's disguise. It never shows up with a name tag saying, "Here I am." It seeps through the cracks, blending into the ordinary until you mistake it for life itself. Monday wears a suit, carries a briefcase, smiles politely. You think it's just another day, but beneath that mask, there's the shadow of all the things you avoid. The responsibilities you've been ducking, the conversations you don't want to have, the truth you've been burying under routine. Monday isn't the monster. It's the spotlight that exposes the monster living in you. And that's why it terrifies you. Because it reminds you that your life isn't what you wanted it to be, and you don't know how to change it. Most people aren't scared of Monday because of the tasks waiting for them. No, that's the excuse. They're scared because Monday strips away the illusion. The weekend is a mask, a pretty distraction where you pretend you're free, pretend you're alive, pretend you're in control. But Monday knocks on the door, and tears that mask right off. And suddenly, the mirror is shoved in your face. That reflection is ugly, isn't it? Tired eyes, fake smiles, a life built on routines you secretly despise. Monday doesn't create horror, it reveals it. And here's the cruel part. You already know it's coming. That's why the dread sets in early. You can laugh at horror movies because the monster is always out there, on the screen, chasing someone else. But Monday isn't out there. Monday is in your bed, in your calendar, in your veins. It comes for you and only you. And you can't turn it off, can't fast forward, can't pause. That inevitability is what drives you mad. The countdown ticks, and you sit there, powerless, watching the hours disappear. Every tick is a whisper, reminding you there's no escape. But here's the irony. The monster isn't Monday at all. It's the cage you've built for yourself. It's the job you hate but refuse to leave. The people you tolerate but secretly loathe. The routines you keep repeating even though they're killing you slowly. Monday just throws open the door and shoves you inside the cage you designed. That's why it feels like horror. You've trapped yourself, and every week, the calendar forces you to relive the punishment over and over, like a sick ritual, and deep down you know it. That's why you complain about Monday so much. It's easier to curse the day than admit you're the architect of your own prison. People gather together and whine about how terrible Mondays are, as if blaming the calendar will erase the truth. But that's just noise, a way to drown out the screams echoing inside. The real horror is silence, because in silence you can hear it clearly. That little voice telling you, this isn't the life you wanted. And you don't have the courage to break it. So you keep waiting for Monday like it's a villain, when in reality, it's just a reminder that you're not free, a reminder that you're stuck, a reminder that no weekend, no distraction, No escape can hide the fact that every time the sun rises on a Monday, the mask comes off and the truth stands there, grinning at you, daring you to do something about it. The strange thing about fear is that it never really announces itself. It hides behind normal moments, ordinary hours, the quiet ticking of the clock. That's how it creeps into you, not with screams, not with fire, but with a whisper. Monday horror is not about the day itself. It's about what it forces you to see. People think the day is cursed, as if some date on a calendar can hold power over them. But the truth is, the day is just a stage. It's you who drags the ghosts onto it. You're the one writing the script, filling it with anxiety, dread, disappointment. And when the curtain rises, you watch your own creation come alive. That's the horror. You can't blame anyone else. People call Monday heavy, but it's not the hours that weigh them down. It's the lies they've been carrying. All week, they whisper to themselves, "It'll be better. I'll change soon." This is temporary, but Monday has a way of snapping those whispers like twigs. It doesn't let you hide behind illusions. It puts you right back into the same place you swore you'd escape. And that's where the real terror begins. Not in the tasks, not in the meetings, not in the alarms, but in the realization that nothing has changed. And nothing will unless you do something drastic. And that's what terrifies people the most, their own inaction. Think about it. Why do people fear the start of the week? Because it exposes their patterns. The mask of freedom they wear on weekends slips, and underneath it, the raw truth emerges. They are trapped. They drink, laugh, sleep late, scroll through distractions, trying to convince themselves they are alive. Then Monday arrives, and in a cruel flash, that illusion shatters. The horror isn't Monday. The horror is the exposure. The day unmasks you. And nothing makes people shiver more than facing themselves. You know what's funny? Everyone talks about horror, like it's some monster hiding under the bed, something external. But the ugliest monsters are internal. They don't crawl out of the shadows. They crawl out of your decisions. Every choice you avoided, every step you never took, every word you swallowed, every truth you buried, they come back on Monday morning. That's when the voices are loudest. They whisper while you're brushing your teeth. They sit across from you at breakfast. They ride beside you on the way to work. And no matter how much coffee you drink, no matter how many smiles you fake, those voices don't leave. They want you to look at them. And that's the part people can't stand. The cruelest trick of horror is inevitability. You can escape a movie monster. You can turn off the TV, but you can't escape the clock. It ticks, steady and merciless, dragging you toward what you fear. Sunday evening, the shadow falls, and by midnight it swallows you whole. That's why people don't sleep well. Their minds keep replaying what's coming, like a film they can't pause. That endless loop drives them insane. But the trap isn't the day. The trap is their refusal to change. They'd rather complain about Monday than confront the truth, that they're the reason it feels like horror at all. And here's the darkest part. Deep down, they've accepted it. They live for escape. That's why weekends feel so sweet. Because they're not living, they're running. Every Friday feels like freedom. Every Sunday feels like a funeral. What kind of life is that? A life measured in escapes, not in meaning. And yet, they keep doing it, week after week, like addicts hooked on pain. The horror isn't just that Monday keeps coming. It's that they keep letting it destroy them. But imagine this for a moment. What if Monday isn't the enemy? What if it's the mirror? What if it's the only thing brave enough to show you what you really are? That's why it hurts. That's why it feels like a nightmare you can't wake up from. Monday doesn't kill you. It reveals the truth you've been too weak to face. And that truth is scarier than any monster could ever be. The scariest part of any trap isn't the moment you step inside. It's the moment you realize you saw the signs all along and ignored them. People love to pretend they didn't know, like the warning wasn't there, like the gut didn't twist, like the silence didn't scream. But deep down, they knew, they always know. That's what makes the horror sharper. It isn't about being fooled. It's about being willing to be fooled. Because lies taste sweeter than truth. And illusions are softer than reality. So they walk straight into the web, smiling, convincing themselves the strings are silk, not shackles. And when the walls close in, when the air grows thin, they act surprised. But they built the cage themselves. That's the twisted punchline. The trap isn't crafted by some stranger in the dark. No, it's crafted by you. Every compromise, every excuse, every time you chose comfort over courage, you tighten the rope. people think horror is something done to them. But the real horror is something they do to themselves. They believe the false promise. They cling to the fake light. They ignore the cracks. Because hope is the sweetest poison. It makes you blind, it makes you numb, and it keeps you smiling while your doom sharpens its teeth. And when the trap snaps, when the truth stands naked, hope doesn't save you. It laughs at you.